You're looking at Robert Clavesilla coming in with an undefeated 2-0 amateur record. They call him Strong Arms for obvious reasons. His opponent out of the red corner, Travis Ratliff out of Boren, California. His dad was a professional boxer. He too is undefeated with 2-0 on the books.
And Ratliff's two fights, one was a TKO, and the second one was a victory because of a guillotine hold. This should be one of the highlights of the evening.
Well, as you mentioned, should be one of the premier fights of the night. Fred Salas alongside Jeff Tolcher back at the Quiet Cannon in the Montebello Country Club in beautiful Montebello, California. It's All-Star Promotions and Camel, Battle of the Rising Stars in conjunction with Budweiser, the king of beers. And Robert Strong Arms Clavesilla getting last-minute instructions from Mike Beltran. It is Don Votter that'll be in the ring. This bout brought to you by Rudy's Bar and Grill of East Los Angeles. Let's go down to the center of the cage with our ring announcer, Jimmy Fitzgerald.
RJ. All right, fight fans, here we go. Now in the ring, the battle of the undefeated, 3 rounds of mixed martial arts in the middleweight division. This bout is sponsored in part by Tinko Sheet Metal. Once again, our referee in charge of this bout, Don Votter. And now, introducing to you first on my right, fighting out of the red corner, he is wearing black trunks. He is training out of United Self-Defense Academy in Palmdale by way of Boron. He weighed in 182 pounds. He brings to the cage an undefeated record, 2 wins with no losses. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Travis Ratliff. His opponent across the cage, fighting out of the blue corner. He is wearing black trunks, trimmed in green. He is training out of Pimpit Fight Team Academy in Upland by way of Pomona, California. He weighed in 184 pounds. He too is undefeated, 2 wins with no losses. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Robert James Strong Arms Clavesilla. All right, fans, here we go. 3 rounds of mixed martial arts.
Well, Jeff Tolcher, easy to see why they call him Strong Arms. You saw the bulging biceps. 2-0 Robert Clavesilla taking on 2-0 Travis Ratliff. This should be a war. Referee in charge, Don Votter. Judges ringside, Don Howard, Larry Lamas, and Mike Beltran. And a takedown. Robert Clavesilla on Ratliff. Back-to-back takedowns, and Ratliff is going to punch his way out of a guard position. And a top mount by Clavesilla. Both fighters head-to-head, scalp-to-scalp, and inside right hands coming by way of Ratliff to the torso of Clavesilla.
Boy, you certainly see the strength of Clavesilla too, picking up Ratliff about 3 feet in the air and tossing him to the canvas. These 2 fighters, both very strong.
Travis Ratliff at 6 feet 1 inches tall, gives away about 1 1/4 to the 5'9" ¾ Robert Clavesilla. Clavesilla clearly in charge from an aggressive standpoint, and Ratliff in the guard mount, now the side mount by Clavesilla. Clavesilla with the forearm to the head of Ratliff. Is it legal? Absolutely. And now to the throat of Ratliff and doing anything he can to finish off Ratliff earlier. The forearm to the collar. And now a side mount, the cross mount by Clavesilla on Ratliff. And clearly it is Robert Strong Arms Clavesilla who has come out as the aggressor here.
Well, you can certainly see why his nickname is very fitting. Ratliff's been on the canvas for a good part of this round as we have 10 seconds left.
Ratliff asked by Vada, are you okay? He says, I'm okay, right at about the 10-second mark. And round number 1 is in the books. Nice aggressive pace by Clavesilla. And how do you score this one?
Obvious now to Clavesilla. Looking at Ratliff's face at the end of that round, he was like he was relieved that was the last 10 seconds of the round came in. But we saw him do the ground and pound, get his opponent on the canvas, then try the elbow choke hold, trying to get Ratliff to submit, but Ratliff wouldn't do it.
Ratliff had a technical knockout in his first bout, and his second bout was with a guillotine chokehold, so by submission, 2-0. And you look at him there, last minute instructions from his corner. Seconds are out of the cage. Don Vada yelling out last second instructions. Vada, the referee, in charge. Both these fighters are 2-0, and this has been a very good bout thus far. Round 2 underway. Swing and a miss by Clavesilla. Ratliff likes to stand up. A couple of right hands to the head of Clavesilla. And let's see if he can counter with the takedown. Clavesilla clearly a strong man in the cage tonight. But Jeff Tolcher, Ratliff taking some cues from his father, who was a professional boxer, with the stand-up and the tags.
You saw him come out in that second round and get a good combinations, the boxing style.
Now the mount on top by Clavesilla. The guard position for Ratliff. Ratliff with his feet on the chain link, part of the cage, trying to get some leverage.
And then Clavesilla trying to work some shots to the body. And Ratliff clearly looks fatigued here in the middle of this second round.
Ratliff came out with a fire in his belly, threw some blows that connected with Clavesilla, but more of the same here in round 2 like we saw in round 1. Ratliff overpowered by Clavesilla. And a collar choke by Ratliff on Clavesilla, now releasing.
And releasing because Clavesilla working the body on the left side of Ratliff, who was trying to get that guillotine chokehold.
10 seconds in round number 2. Strikes to the head of Ratliff. Clavesilla and Ratliff clearly need a breather after that one.
And the referee not stopping the blows because of the crowd noise. The horn actually sounded twice to try to get his attention. That's what they're talking about now. But you got to give a lot of credit to Clavesilla. Ratliff in the start of this second round was throwing punches left and right, but Clavesilla got him back into that familiar ground and pound position and really has Ratliff fatigue at the end of 2 rounds.
Here at the Quiet Cannon, Montebello Country Club, glad you could be with us. Fred Salas alongside Jeff Tolcher. We're looking at All-Star Promotions, the Kaboom MMA presentation of the Battle of the Rising Stars. And you're looking at Robert Strong Arms Clavesilla. waiting for the third round to begin. He came ready to go. And Travis Ratliff, surprised in round number 1. Round number 2, gathered himself, but ended up on the short side of the stick in terms of our unofficial scoring.
And really, in these amateur fights, this is where the training comes into play. That stamina you have to have, and you have to have it throughout all the muscles in your body.
3 2-minute rounds. Ratliff holding up and then taken down. Clavesilla with the mount on top. Strikes to the torso. More specifically, the left ribs of Travis Ratliff.
And those strikes are so effective because it takes the wind out of Ratliff. You can see him struggling just to keep his composure and to find some strength.
Ratliff trying to leverage himself with the cage. And the top mount, now side mount by Clavesilla, pushing away from the cage, preventing him to do so. Ratliff with the forearm to the throat, trying to get disengaged, kicks away. They're disengaged for a moment, and Ratliff out of the guard position with a few foot strikes. And again, Clavesilla, clearly a ground and pound fighter.
And all 3 of these rounds have gone his way to this point. Ratliff's strike kicks are basically to buy him some time to try to catch his wind, but it's really not helping him.
Robert Clavesilla looking to go 3-0 on a Pempe Fight Team Academy. A complete disengage, and Clavesilla actually says, all right, let's get up. 10 seconds left, and Ratliff needs to do something. Clearly, Clavesilla believes this fight is going to go in his favor. And a near almost takedown, and we are done. So both fighters coming in undefeated with 2-0 records, and both fighters giving the crowd a good show.
Well, not only that, but this fight went the way of Clavesilla because of that ground and pound strategy. He had Ratliff on the canvas in all 3 rounds for a good majority of those 3 rounds. Ratliff struggling to find energy, struggling to strike, trying to ward off Clavesilla, but in my mind, he wins this unanimously.
Travis Ratliff, born in California, 6'1", 185 pounds. We said it before, his father was a boxer. He started up with the stand-up, but he couldn't stay on his feet, and perhaps he knows it. And we are about set to go to the center of the cage with our Rudy's Bar and Grill from East Los Angeles. Judge's decision. Take it away, Jimmy.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to the scorecards. We have our decision. All 3 judges ringside scored the bout in favor of our winner by unanimous decision. He is still undefeated. The blue corner, Robert James Stronghold Clavesilla.
Now Robert Clavesilla, no surprise there, out of Upland, California, and a pretty good following here to the Quiet Cannon in Montebello.
Well, we knew this was going to be one of the highlights of the evening with these 2 undefeated amateur fighters, but we got to give a lot of credit to Clavesilla. He was the aggressor. He was imposing his will on Ratliff to get the win.
Ratliff exit the cage, and he will drop to 2-1, and we've got lots of mixed martial arts fighting coming up tonight. One of many bouts. Stay with us from the Quiet Cannon. All-Stars Promotion and Kaboom's presentation of the Battle of the Rising Stars will be back right after this.